Well, hi, all my friends. I hope that you're having a great Thursday. Oh, I have to say goodbye to my friend today. She's such a sweetie. If I had a daughter, it would be Sheehan. That's her name. And she's just a cutie pie. And anyway, she's been a good friend to me at work. And um, she and her husband are moving back to Minnesota. I think they're leaving either tomorrow or Saturday. They're going to be driving. So anyway, say prayers for Sheehan and Big D that they have a safe trip. Um, what else? Who else? So we're at dinner last night, right? And we're celebrating a birthday of a very dear friend who was friends with my mom, went to school with her, um, um, and 82, okay? And her daughter is an interpreter like I am, and so anyway, so we're talking, and then her husband of over 20 years, he found out that he was supposed to have surgery, and he found out that he has some sort of mass or something on his lungs now. So we're like, oh man, you know. So he is going into the doctor today. They're going to let him know, what it is. And so keeping prayers for him. And my friend Buddy is able to eat in the mornings. So far, so good. I don't know how many treatments he's going to have. But, again, it's not a walk in the park. And so anyway, I just, I just feel for people so much, I guess. And so today, gonna say goodbye, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll go get my little guitar from the shop, and I'm hoping to hear from them today just to make sure everything's okay. I could go pick it up, and then I'll be able to play that baby, and yeah. So we're in the reading of Matthew, and thank you for all your kind comments. I'm loving them. And Debbie Lynn TV, I love you. And you're singing as well and stuff. So looking forward to some more songs from you. And yeah, I'm just any more you guys out there want to write me or say hi or drop me a line, tell me who you are. That would be great. I just love hearing from you all. And so, yeah, it means a lot to me. I don't get paid for this, so I do it. It's my first fruits of the day for the Lord. So that's what I'm doing. As far as anything else goes on, I just saw this morning, Salias, the congressman that was shot, when the guys were playing baseball. And it just was so heartfelt to see him walking with aid of two canes on his arm, to help. But he was just beaming to be there. He lost 50 pounds, been through an ordeal of surgeries, and really fought hard to still be here today. And he just was just so grateful. He thanked the policemen that were on duty and everybody that was there to help, and everybody who has been helping him and rallying, and he talked to leaders. He got calls from people he didn't even know, and and he was just a really great guy, and the standing ovation that he got was wonderful to see, and very heartwarming. If you guys got a chance to see that, take a look at it. I'm really hoping that the people of Puerto Rico get some kind of relief. I think it's a distribution problem, and so they're trying to figure it out. And I hope that they, get going on it and just, circumvent whatever they need to and give these people help, because they're Americans too. Okay, so chapter 18 in Matthew. And so Christ teaches to be humble, touching offenses and forgiving one another. Okay, so okay, all right, so I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about something here. Okay, at the time the disciples unto Jesus saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. I just love how God works. Okay. And said, verily, I say unto you, except that you be converted. Now, he's talking about spiritually changed, okay? And you become like a little child. You shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have to be teachable. You have to be your willingness towards heaven and towards God has to change so that you want to be closer to God. Okay, you have to want to change inside of you. If you're not going to change unless you want to. And the only way that you can become teachable is if you just put everything aside and become as if you don't know anything at all and start from the beginning. Okay? So, all right. So, okay. And you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. So whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And who shall receive one such little child in my name receives me. But who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hung around his neck, and that he was drowned in the depth of the sea. So don't harm little children that believe in Jesus, just because, And woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must and needs be that offenses come. But woe to the man by whom the offense cometh. Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into a life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire. So it just means spiritually to change. That if you have a desire to do things that you know are wrong, you need to spiritually ask the Lord to change that desire, and that you are to restrain yourself physically, and remove yourself physically if you need to do that from the person or the thing that is bothering you. A self-denial, okay, is what you need to do to overcome that, and then when you're spiritually changed, then things will be different for you, okay. And if your eye offends you, same thing, cast it out. It is better for thee to enter to a life with one eye rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into the hell of fire. So it doesn't literally mean, pluck out your eye, okay? It just means avert yourself. Take yourself away from the thing that is causing you to sin, and remove yourself from that thing, okay? So, but take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. How think ye, if a man have 100 sheep, and one of them is gone astray, does he not leave the 99 and go into the mountains and seek that which is gone astray? And if so be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoices more of that sheep than the 99 in which went not astray. Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven, that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, so it's not his will, okay? It is not his will that any little one should perish. Okay? Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Remember, okay, if you're the one that is giving a message to somebody, you're the one responsible for that message, okay, to make your brother or sister hear you. You're responsible for that, okay? But if he will not hear thee, then take thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as the heathen man and a publican. So, like an outcast, okay? Or like Matthew, was considered, he's a tax collector as well, okay? And they look down on those people, okay? So verily I say unto you, whosoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whosoever you shall loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. So that's the authority of the church. Again I say unto you that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are more gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? And Jesus had said unto him, I say unto thee, till 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So basically forever, okay? You never stop forgiving. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owned him 10,000 talents. For as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, I will pay thee all. And the Lord's servant was moved with compassion, and loosened him, and forgave him his debt. But the same servant went out, found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence, and he laid hands on him, and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that what thou owest. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet, and besought him, and said, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. But he would not, and went and cast him into prison until he should pay the debt. And when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. His Lord then called him and said, You wicked servant, I forgave you all your debt, because you desired it of me. Shouldn't thou also have compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? And the Lord was wroth with